So wind tower, the wind towers, these wind towers are, you guys went on a tour today, was it like a 300-foot wind tower? Is that true or not? 400? These are 700 foot tall. They're significantly larger. These are 700 foot tall, 500 some feet wide. So they are, it's not the same wind tower. It's not the same wind tower it was 16 years ago when that code was written. So if this is an 8-foot wall, 1 inch equals 7.3 feet. This here, the wind tower would be at the top of this, right there. This here would be a house. This is a 16.5-foot house, 55 feet wide. It takes 42 of those to reach the wind tower. That's a massive difference. So, to me, when we're talking about setbacks, I think the wind tower is the problem, I think, more than the house. I mean, that's just massive. So I would like a minimum 1 mile setback. I also would like a setback, because this affects what we can do with the non-resident parcel. I've got a parcel that doesn't have a residence on it at this time. Actually, let me go back. We have 3, the family has 3 old parcels that used to be 3 farmsteads that still have the trees around. They're old farmsteads that currently are habitated. And in the future someday, if we want to develop those, if there's a wind tower there, we can. So I'd like to have some of that included. How far do you, 700 feet, 500 feet wide, how far do you have that away from somebody's property? Because it might affect them in the future. Half mile, mile, I don't know. I'd like that to be talked about. So now, my biggest concern with the setbacks, going through the Burley Code, other than the setbacks, was shadow flicker, which we talked about a little bit. And I did submit some recommended verbiage that, yeah, that could probably be taken care of later. There's my other comments. Oh, the other ones that I had were collector lines. Those are the lines from, I think we need to identify in the Burley Code, clearly identify collector lines. Collector lines are the ones that go from the tower all the way to, I call it the wind turbine substation, but it's actually, you guys got a different term for it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, collector line. Energy from the wind turbines all the way to the project substation. So if you got 100 wind turbines, all these lines have to run somewhere and go. And VRC said theirs are going underground. I said, how many miles of collector are you going to have? Because I'm thinking farmers are going to have to farm around these. If we currently are not using the easement, we're going to, and they said, ours are all going underground. And I said, wow, that's great. I still don't know the number of miles, but we need to put that in our code. If PRC can do it, everybody can do it. We need to make them do it. Because we don't want to be putting a bunch of poles up that farmers have to farm around. And then feeder lines, that needs to be identified. But those are, if you agree with the big stuff, I think the rest of it falls in place. And I guess I'm going to stop now because I'm starting to lose my place because I don't have any slides. I don't know how so, any questions? Oh, my right. That's my house right there.
All right, thank you. We need to move on.
Jeff Schaefer.
Good evening, David and I were thinking alike. I just want to make this visual. So this is my house. Okay? So let's do that 3 times height for a setback, right? So that's 6 steps. There we go. I think that's too close for a non-participating landowner. That's the visual. If you're a participating landowner, I think that's great, but if you're a non-participating landowner, I think that's too close. That's all I got.
That's it? You're under your 5-minute limit.
Short and sweet to the point, Stan.
Thanks, Jeff.
Amanda Hegland? Sorry, did I get that right?
Well, first of all, I want to just say thank you for letting me come into your county and speak to you tonight. My name is Amanda Hagelin, and I'm the Executive Director of the New Rockford Area Betterment Corporation. Change is never easy. It's uncomfortable, it's intimidating, because it challenges the familiarity of the present with the uncertainty of the future. But change is also necessary. It's how we grow, it's how communities evolve and thrive. So tonight I'm speaking not only on behalf of the NRABC board, but also from a place of personal commitment to our region. And I'm here to express our support for not adopting a 1-mile setback. And I want to talk facts. And let's be honest, there's been a lot of misinformation circulating about wind energy. Concerns about health, property values, and environmental harm are being amplified. But these claims have been thoroughly researched, and they do not hold up under scientific scrutiny. The facts are available, and they do matter. Today I did have the opportunity to tour a wind project near Osnabrück, North Dakota. We met with county commissioners from Cavalier County who have lived with these turbines for years. 20 years now. When asked about the concerns being raised, I want to quote them, and I don't mean any disrespect, but when we asked them about the concerns, they said, quote, "Frankly, they think that all of this worry is silly." I said, why? Because they've seen the positive outcomes. They've been able to lower their taxes for residents and townships. Wind energy has brought consistent revenue into their county without additional strain on infrastructure or services. And they said due to the state's 3% cap on county government spending that's coming, the extra income is directly going to benefit their county. Meanwhile, here in Wells and Eddy County, we're facing our own economic crossroads. Fessenden and New Rockford, like so many rural towns, are seeing shrinking populations, aging infrastructure, and financial challenges. The margins are thin and opportunities are limited. And our choices today will shape whether we thrive or fall behind. In Eddy County, residents voted down a mill levy increase to fix a hazardous Brantford road. The road has been deemed dangerous, and we as a county can't afford to fix that safety issue. And taxpayers don't want the additional tax burden. So the road remains in terrible, dangerous condition. So if you set your setbacks more restrictively than the states, what message is that sending? It says Wells County is closed for business, closed to opportunity, closed to the future. As the Director of Economic Development, I'm trying to fight for a brighter, more prosperous region, not just for today, but for our future generations that we're raising here. And yes, wind energy is a part of the conversation, but this zoning amendment is bigger than any single project. It's a statement about who you are and who we all want to become. A 1-mile setback is essentially rejecting progress. It's saying no to opportunity and no to the long-term sustainability of our communities. And why would we want to limit our potential? This project has been 17 years of rigorous planning, discussion, and scientific study that has brought us here today. We have the data, we have the facts, and we have the opportunity. Now let me be crystal clear about what this project brings to the table, but let me be even more clear on what a mile setback would be turning away. More than $22 million will flow into our community through a community benefit agreement. It's one of the largest in the nation. On top of that, annual tax revenue will support our county and school districts, helping to build a stronger foundation for our generations. You're looking at $1.2 million each year in energy production taxes alone, which will fund essential services, roads, schools, public infrastructure. $1.5 million annually will go directly to the landowners, many who actually do live right here in Wells and Eddy County. PRC is not asking for local tax breaks. They are not asking for public infrastructure investments. They are building the roads at their expense and repairing existing ones. They are bringing real tangible value to this community without asking to foot the bill. Some additional information on that community benefit agreement, and I want to make this clear. I actually went to PRC. I went to my board of directors. I went to my group. We came up with this idea, and we brought it to PRC because I heard people in the community say, it benefits the landowners, but what are we gaining from that? And so that's where we went to work to say, how can we benefit everybody in our community? So with this community benefit agreement, NRABC right now will administer the funds and will create a committee with representation from across the project area that will decide how the money will be allocated and distributed. So just some quick specific amounts, one-time community contributions. 100,000 is going to go to directly to the Rockford Theater project. 50,000 will go to the Cheyenne community for community development. 50,000 will go directly to Pheasant for community development. And then over the course of the project, 700,000 goes back to the community development fund. 150,000 will be split amongst health and safety entities. Plus, each year, we will be receiving approximately $400,000 or more throughout the life of the project, because there is a 2% escalator on that. This is what unprecedented economic development looks like in rural America. So I guess I'm just asking you to look forward. Stop building barriers to progress and start building bridges to opportunity. Say yes to growth, yes to sustainability, and yes to making Wells County and our surrounding communities a more vibrant rural place to live. Again, thank you for letting me come into your county and speak.
Thank you. Thank you, Amanda.
Before we go on, anybody who has not signed in, please do so I get everybody on my minutes.
It's a requirement that we have everybody who is attending this evening to be included in the minutes. So if you could do that, Jana would appreciate it.
Okay, next up is Amy Wabala.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the Wells County Planning and Zoning Board. Thank you for letting me speak this evening. My name is Amy Wabama, and I'm a Wells County native and graduate of Pheasant High School. And I've been a resident of Eddy County since 2004. I spent the first 18 years of my life on family farm south of Pheasant. Then after a short time away, I married a boy from New Rockford and came back home. We've spent the last 21 years together in New Rockford raising our 3 children there. When I went to work for New Rockford Economic Development in 2006, one of the first projects put on my plate was wind energy development. It was one of our board members, Tracy Henningsgaard, who had the vision, and I couldn't get it out of my mind. Tracy and I were the founding members of We Wind LLC in 2008, which we established after holding public meetings in both Wells and Eddy County to gauge interest in pursuing wind energy among residents. And We Wind is still going strong more than 16 years later because we have built a community of people with common goals to produce electricity that powers homes and businesses, grow our county's tax base, and create an additional income stream for our landowners. 75% of our investor members are residents of Eddy County or Wells County, and all but 2 live in the state of North Dakota. I am a volunteer and a community member. I am not an investor nor a landowner, which means that there are no stock options or lease payments or buyouts coming for me when this project is built. I am here for one reason only, because since the 24-month feasibility study was completed in 2011 by NRABC, I have never wavered in my belief that this project is for the good of the community. It will not only help us now, but also our children and their future families. I want to point out that the members of We Wind have been here before. The Eddy County Zoning Commission debated setbacks and ordinances at a hearing on April 8, 2017, well before any contracts were signed for the Flickatail project, and even before PRC was even on our minds about being part of this project. And a 1-mile setback from residences was written into the Eddy County zoning ordinance without our knowledge. and our consultants at the time, EAPC of Grand Forks, who develops wind projects across the country.